Is your team not performing well? Is morale low and turnover high? Are you falling further behind the competition? I'm here to help. I'm Shani Magoski, and this is the Leadershifter Show, where business strategy and culture finally meet. Explore shifts of all kinds required to build cultures of trust, engagement, and execution excellence. I promise I am not your typical boring leadership consultant, and I will help you and your team get your shift together. Welcome to another episode of the Leadershifter Show with Shani. It is such a pleasure today to introduce my guest. Her name is Blima Ehrentreu, and she is the founder and CEO of the coolest interior design firm in New York. It's based in Brooklyn, the Designers Group. What you're going to hear today are some innovative approaches to design that go beyond design, right? Because Blima believes that design is a tool that doesn't just decorate the walls or the furniture. Like, it helps the culture, and building the spaces helps the culture, and it serves communities, and it's a way to empower people. So it just takes design to a level of leadership that I really wanted to highlight on the podcast. So welcome, Blima, to the show.
Thank you, Shani. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I don't know if your listeners know that you were one of my favorite instructors at the Goldman Sachs 10K So I'm really happy to be here to reconnect and talk a little bit more about what I do, and hopefully give the listeners something interesting and something to learn.
Excellent. Well, thank you. And for those of you who don't know what GS10KSB is, Goldman Sachs runs an amazing grant program through their foundation that's called Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses. And they work with entrepreneurs, small and medium-sized businesses to help them really expand. And in order to get the grant money at the end, they have to go through this very rigorous multi-month program where it's sort of like getting an MBA. When you say, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of topics. And I teach the leadership module and the people and culture module. So yes, Blima was in my most recent module over the summer, and I was super impressed with her as a leader and her vision for the business, and even just the cool work that she does. I remember when we were doing the mission and vision exercise, being so fascinated by your approach. So one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the show today. So let's go back in time. How did you get interested in design, and what was the impetus or the inspiration for you to start your own business?
So I always think back to when I first decided that I want to get into the construction/design industry. And when I was growing up, my parents moved us out of our childhood home, and we moved across the street and watched as our home was demolished and then rebuilt. So that was an incredibly interesting process for me to see as a child. And I was so fascinated by the entire process and how lines on a paper really turned into something, and watching it happen was amazing. And as I continued exploring different options, when I was finishing high school, I knew that I wanted to make an impact. And just thinking about the different ways that could happen, I saw that going into the design industry and working on spaces where we could have an impact really married both of those concepts together. And that's ultimately what I did. I went to school, got a master's in interior architecture and design, and originally started working at an architecture firm because I wanted to get the technical side of construction, really understand what goes into building a structure. And then I was approached by another designer, and we decided to go off on our own. And what began as a 2-woman partnership really flourished into something incredible. We now operate out of 3 locations: Toronto, which was where I grew up, and our original location. And then I moved to New York, opened an office there, and we have another location in Hollywood, Florida. So
yes, I know.
An incredible journey, and I just feel so lucky that I have the opportunity together with my team to be able to really make a difference.
Yeah. So let's talk about that, because you've gotten so many awards And I want to preface this question by naming all these awards. So first of all, Inc. magazine ranked your company, the Designers Group, number 15 among the top fastest growing private companies in the New York metro area a couple of years ago. So that's for your whole company. But for you, in 2022, you were recognized as a woman on the rise by Commercial Observer, a woman of influence in 2020 and 2022 by the Globus Real Estate Forum, and Women-Owned Interior Design Firm of the Year 2022 by Red Connect. So you're doing something right, right? What is it that distinguishes what you all are doing from the interior design firm down the street?
So I know what we're doing. And like I mentioned briefly, it's all about the impact that we can make. And that's really what we do when we approach a project. We really look at who's going to be using the space and what the purpose of the space is and what the experience of the person who's using it should be. Mm-hmm. So we have a pretty diverse portfolio of projects, and our work spans many different industries, but it's the same fundamentals that we use no matter what the space is. And we really want to maximize the potential of everybody within the space. Mm-hmm. So whether it's a healthcare space or a multifamily, residential area or amenity or home, or we're looking at office, or recently we started designing schools as well. We're really looking at the impact and what the people in the space are meant to be doing and how we can maximize that for them. And it's been so rewarding. We've been really lucky and really been able to work on some spaces that we can see the impact right away, which is incredibly rewarding.
So let's give people some tangible examples. So tell me about two of the most exciting projects that you've worked on over the last few years that pop into your head.
Okay, so over COVID, we got into the urgent care space. So we were working with a new company that was rolling out locations across New York and New Jersey. And the concept that we came up with was, why, when you're going to get a massage or a spa treatment, is it a luxurious experience? But when you're getting stitches or going to check up like a pain or an ailment, does it become this anxiety-ridden experience? So what we did was we brought in elements of a spa into the urgent care experience. And we worked on about 18 locations with more to come. And basically what we did was we wanted to give anyone walking into the space that spa-like experience. And what was amazing about it was, first of all, anyone who has walked into that urgent care has walked out just with only the best things to say. And I credit that to both the service, the quality of the doctors, but as well the environment that people are walking into. And when they had the first grand opening for their first location, you know, they brought city officials, and I heard someone saying to someone else, he's like, "Hey, this feels like I'm in a spa." And I walked over to him. I said, "Did someone pay you to say that?" Because literally that was our vision for the space. And it's so amazing. When we have a vision, we work with a team to make it happen. I mean, we have an incredible team, the designers and project managers and everyone on our end, but there's also the contractors and all the different consultants that we're working together. So being able to execute our vision is just an incredibly rewarding feeling. And knowing that people going to our urgent cares now will have that experience is something that we are incredibly proud of, especially over COVID, when, you know, going to the doctor was such a scary experience.
For sure. Before you move on to the next one, with my business hat on, when customers have a good experience, that means they're going to become fans, which means next time they need urgent care, they're only going to want to go to the spa urgent care. They're going to recommend that urgent care, and people will probably go out of their way to go there, even if there's closer ones, because they're creating such a memorable experience. So it's not just like nice to be there, it's good for their business.
100%. And we actually got involved with the branding as well for that project, because we're an interior design firm, but we're a creative team. And we really want to make sure that the experience is there. So whatever is needed to make that happen, we're there to do it. And so we came up with a logo. We worked on, we even did the nurses' uniforms and we really got involved. The pads that the prescriptions were written on. So we worked on their marketing decks. So that was a full interior experience, from the social media pages to the website. Like, we didn't build the website, but we worked with whoever was doing it to make sure that it aligned with the branding and the messaging that we really wanted to convey. So that was a really amazing project to be busy with, especially over COVID. And, leaning off of that, I would talk about our senior living properties that we're working on, because that's something that also is super impactful. And, that's something that comes from an experience that I had when I was in high school. We had community hours that we had to do. And mine was to visit this older woman who was in a nursing home in Toronto. And I would go, try to go once a week, once every other week. And while we were visiting her, I used to go with a friend. She moved the nursing home that she was in, built a new wing, and she was moved into the new wing. And seeing that transformation from when she was in the older building to the new one was amazing. She was getting older. She should have been acting or looking like she was getting older. But once she moved into that new building, it was as if she got younger. There was natural sunlight. The room was beautiful. There was a beautiful dining room for everyone to eat in together. It was just transformative to see. And I remember then, when I was looking into different careers or what I wanted to do, I remember thinking that if I do get into design, that is a space that I really want to get into. And it was so exciting for me when we opened the office in New York and I had my first opportunity to design a skilled nursing facility. I was like, okay, my dreams are coming true, because this is such a special space to be into. Like, when people are rehabilitating or, figuring out where they're going to be as their life continues to go on, and, they're getting older, there's no reason that they should be downgrading. They've lived an amazing life. They should be in a place that keeps them going and keeps them young. So that's really what we concentrate on when working on the senior living properties that we're involved with.
So what's something special that you did in this project to shift the experience from, kind of the shitty one that you would have in just the average facility?
Yeah. So again, like the same idea with the urgent care, where we look at different industries that we're involved in and bring in those concepts.
Okay.
There's so many different spaces within the senior living portfolio, but we worked on the second largest nursing home in the country. And what we did was we brought in a hospitality vibe into the nursing home. So we created this beautiful lobby, and the amenity spaces that were incorporated were incredible. And really just trying to look at the space from the perspective of, what do I look for when I travel and I'm staying in a hotel? What amenities do I want to have? How do I want to feel? And bringing in those concepts into the skilled nursing facility space or anywhere in the senior living space. So that's been really amazing to do. And, obviously we want the whole experience to be super comfortable. So clear wayfinding, making sure that there's a lot of natural light, and really maximizing that, bringing the outdoors in. And what we're really looking to do is promote social engagement. We believe that it's so important, especially among the older population, where loneliness is so prevalent. So we really look at that and trying to bring people together in a way that's enjoyable for them, but also comfortable and safe.
I'm writing something down right now. What came to me as you were talking is, it's not just like the physical experience of the design, which is wonderful, right? It's also the psychological, mental, and emotional experiences that you're creating for people in those spaces.
100%. I always say that our designs engage all 5 senses. It's not just what you see. It's really the way you feel. And how you feel is really based on all the senses, not just what you seeing. So we make sure to, we've put in the vent systems like a good smell.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, so many times you walk into a building and it just doesn't smell good. So right away, you don't feel comfortable. So we do that all the time, making sure that the sound, like there's good acoustics. So whether it's an event space where we make sure to incorporate acoustical treatments, or just making sure that people can hear each other in spaces that are supposed to be more private. There's just so many different ways to incorporate that. And, really just looking at the five senses. So how the upholstery feels when you sit on it, what the chairs feel like. And especially when we're talking about seniors, like making sure that the chairs you could get in and out of.
Sure.
Sometimes, we think like if something's more plush and you can really sink down in it, that's so much more comfortable. But then think about it from the perspective where it's hard to get up. We really have to look at every space, and I believe we're unique, but also I do believe that any good design firm knows this, but we're really looking at who the end user is and what will work for them.
So another thing I know that you're building in, I think maybe it's not in addition to the five senses, it enhances the five senses, are all the buzzwords. You're building in virtual reality, artificial intelligence. Give us some examples of how you are utilizing those technologies in design.
Okay, so when it comes to the virtual reality, what we're doing is we're building out spaces before they're built so that whoever is involved in the project can really experience the space before it's built.
Ooh.
And as designers, we are trained to be able to understand drawings, be able to visualize the way something will look once it's built. But so many people have such a hard time with that. And even as easy as we try to make it for them, we'll show them 3Ds, we'll show them the materials, it still feels different once it's built.
Right. The average person doesn't process AutoCAD, right?
Exactly. So what we've been really busy with is building out spaces in 3D where people can actually put on a VR headset and feel like they're going through the space. And what's really interesting was we're working on a school now, and they're a private school. So a lot of the spaces are donated by parents of the school, people who believe in their mission, and they had a dinner recently and they asked us if we can build out the space virtually. And we had 4 people from our team come to the dinner, and whoever wanted was able to walk through the space virtually. And the executive director actually just called me about a month ago to say that they got a very large donor for one of the spaces based on just experiencing it virtually. So besides the fact that it really helps the client and brings people on board for what our vision is, a new component is really using it as a marketing tool. And we've been telling some of our senior living clients, some of our multifamily clients, like, this is a tool if people aren't able to travel or actually come to the space, or before it's built, if they're choosing different finishes, you can offer this as a service. So that's been something really amazing to build out. And when it comes to AI, that's also another technology that we're really leveraging, just because we always want to be innovative. We want to know what the latest technology is and make sure that we're providing that for our projects, for our clients, for the spaces that we're working on. So I actually went to an AI conference, I think it was about a month ago, where I was asked to speak about how, as a design firm, we're leveraging AI to make our design process more streamlined and better. And there are so many different apps out there, different programs that really could help with the design process. And that's where we've really been using it. So many people who were speaking at the conference were developing their own AI programs. What was different about my talk was I was talking about programs that are out there that anyone can buy into and use. And there are some really amazing programs out there and this amazing technology that's available for us. I would say at this point, we're not at the place yet where you can just snap your fingers and get a space designed for you and have it all done. But there are ways that together with a design team can really be leveraged to help us from in the conceptual process, in different ways of, where we're doing repeated tasks. So ways like that, we've been, really working with it.
So cool. I mean, can you even imagine operating in the environment pre-technology where everything was just on a drafting table?
It's so funny because someone just sent me like a room of people bent over their drawing boards, drafting, and it's incredible how much has changed in a relatively short amount of time. Our team we have quite a large component of our team works virtually because when COVID hit, we had to adapt, and so many people don't want to come into an office full time anymore. So we had the option to either say that you're not part of our team or to really try to work with it, which is what we've done. And that's allowed us to tap into talent across the world. Sure. And it's been amazing figuring out a way to work virtually because design is really about collaboration. That's what we believe. That's the way my team works best. But we've been able to work with different platforms and really figure out a way where we can collaborate virtually. And it's been incredible. At the end of the day, there's nothing like in-person contact. I mean, and I see that about spaces as well. You have to be in them to experience them, but there's so much that we could do. And I do believe that working virtually has allowed us to really tap into some incredible talent and come up with some really innovative solutions to the challenges we've had.
So are businesses, commercial spaces now challenging you to redesign for the hybrid environment? Is that something you're seeing more of right now?
Definitely. And it's really about being flexible and figuring out ways where spaces can work differently. Whereas before COVID, I would say now we're really adaptable. All of the spaces can be flexible. We can use them for different purposes. And that's really helped teams be innovative and think out of the box. And that's also where we come in, where we can tell them how to do that and how to do it best.
Got it. Well, I want to go back to something you just said about how you have such an incredible team and you made it work well during the pandemic. And it's part of how you deliver such a great product is you've hired great people and you've created a great culture in which those people can thrive. I want to hear, what was your vision for the culture and what is it in reality, right? Because we can have our vision for the culture. How does it operate in reality?
My vision when starting the firm was really that it would be a collective and collaborative effort by everyone on the team. And, when we were coming up with a name for the firm, so many people go by the initials of the person or their name. And, we threw that around a little bit. And ultimately, my partner and I in Toronto decided to come up with a name that everyone who is part of our team is part of who we are. So that's why we're called the Designers Group. It's all about the group. It's all about us together, leveraging our talents, leveraging our skills, and using them to deliver the best solution for whatever space we're working on. So that's really our culture. And it also goes back to our motto is designing with purpose, creating a better world. And we're thoughtfully looking at a space and making it better. And that's really been the reason for our charitable initiatives that we run through the firm as well, because we believe that we're here to make the world a better place. And how can we do that? So first and foremost, by designing spaces thoughtfully and maximizing their potential, but also by using our platform to do good. And that has been the impetus for the TDG Furniture Exchange, which is a platform where we match people who have furniture to give away with people who need it. And that's been incredible. We're operating out of 9 locations now, and we are in the process of taking a website live so we can add even more locations. And in every location works a little differently. Like in New York, we partnered with Dumbo Movers, and they move all the donations for free for us, which is amazing. But, we're in Toronto, Cleveland, Baltimore, Miami. So every location really works differently. But the bottom line is that one person's unneeded piece of furniture could really help someone else. So that's one initiative that we're pretty busy with. And we have the TDG Insider, where prospective designers can come and spend the day at our office in New York and see if design is a career for them. So many people have ideas about what they want to do, but when they actually finish the schooling and start working in the industry, they realize this is really not what they signed up for. So this is a day where people can come. We have curated a structure that they get a little taste of what it's like to work in the commercial sector of design. And so that's just a couple of the initiatives. We had the TDG Gives Back, where we designed pro bono for charities in honor of our 3rd anniversary in New York. So we're always looking for ways to really spread the good that design can do. Before the new year, we visit the nursing homes that we design that are within distance. Teams in the area deliver flowers, see how our designs are impacting the people using them. So we're always looking for ways to be able to give back. And that really speaks to who we are as a firm. We really believe that we are making the world a better place with our designs. And that's a culture that we want everyone on our team to be proud of.
Yes.
We want them to subscribe to that, and we want them to believe in what we're doing. And they really do.
What I love about this is that it's not just words. Oh, we give back. Everyone freaking says that. The actions that your firm takes actually matches your words. You are giving back, and you've already given us 3 different ways that you do that. And I have no doubt that there will be more as you grow the things you already do. And as the company continues to thrive, there'll be more of that. I just love it. Anyone who needs design, I want you to call Blima. We're going to give you your contact information at the end of the episode coming up soon. But are you inspired by how she does business? It doesn't matter that it's the design business, right? You can operate your business with these kind of principles, and by actually doing things that show people what you're made of, what your culture is, as opposed to just, oh, we do this, we do that. It's what do you want people to say about you when you're not there? People are saying about the Designers Group that they do good work in the world, right? I have no doubt. So that's my little TV timeout, so that people who are listening, I'm sort of virtually shaking you to get inspiration from this, because it's so good. And honestly, this is what leadership is all about. Strategy's great. A lot of people are good at strategy. A lot of leaders are not good at what you've just described. So, kudos to you.
Thank you. But I really cannot do it without my team. So they are making all of my dreams come true, because I can have all the ideas in the world, but if we can't execute, then that's it, that they are just ideas. And my team really helps me every step of the way. So I have to thank them.
Of course. So what's next for the Designers Group?
So we're actually working on a really interesting concept now, and it's called TDG Build. We are putting together a concept where we are a one-stop shop, that people can come to us, they have a vision, and we can execute it for them. And what I believe is a little different about the way that we're approaching this is the design is driving the end result.
Okay.
And that is really what is center stage here, what our vision is and what the vision of the client for the space is. And then we have so much experience working with different vendors, different consultants, and we'll leverage those people and the best team for the project to make it happen. So this is a new concept. We haven't even rolled it out yet. We're still speaking to the different consultants that we work with and figuring out the best way to roll it out. But we do have our TDG Spotlight, which is a monthly publication that we send out. It's on the 15th every month. We have the TDG Digest, which is our month review on the 1st, and the 15th is the Spotlight. So on the 15th of this month, we will be rolling it out. And we're very excited about it because we've had so many clients come to us and they love our work and they want us to execute. And we always tell them that we're a design firm. We will work together with your team or with a team that you choose, but we don't put it together. And based on all the requests that we've had to do that and to be the point of contact, that is what we are exploring right now and putting together a Rolodex of the best consultants and vendors that we work with to offer that to our clients.
So almost like you'd be the GC of a project.
So kind of more from like an owner's rep type of perspective.
Okay.
We would be putting together the best people that we believe would be able to execute our vision and then obviously get the client's approval, but be that point of contact throughout.
Got it. All right. Well, thank you so much for all of your insights and inspiration. How can people reach you for any or all of the following reasons? 1, to hire you. 2, to get involved in the furniture exchange. 3, if they're a prospective designer and they want to come into the office and see if that career is for them. 4, if someone's got a pro bono project idea. And 5, if they're interested in working for you.
So the contact for everything is pretty much the same. We have a website that leads you to all of the information that you're asking for, which is thedesignersgroup.com. We do have a website for the TDG Furniture Exchange, which is tdgfurnitureexchange.com.
Okay.
On the Designers Group website, there is a tab that says TDG Insider, and there's a way to apply from the website.
Okay.
And on our website as well, there is a careers page. So if anyone would like to join our team, feel free to reach out there. We're always looking for talent. So feel free to apply there. And we're actively hiring now in Florida. So if anyone is there that's an interior designer, please reach out.
Fantastic. I'll have to put my feelers out since I live in South Florida. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. And I think the real key takeaway here is don't just think about what your function is with a client. Think about how what you do can help the client achieve their business goals. Like, think more broadly. Think, how can you bring best practices from other industries into what you're doing for clients? And the way Blima described, they used inspiration from spas and hospitality in urgent care and senior living facilities. Like, there's so many great ideas. Like, there's no reason not to, like we do in restaurants with fusion, like use that concept to deliver a better product to your clients. So to me, that's one of the most interesting things that we talked about today is how to like really expand from like doing this to impacting a whole bigger sphere of influence. So thank you again. Really appreciate it. And leader shifters, until next time.
Thank you, Shani. This is great. I'm so happy that we got to do this today. And I thank you for your time. And it's always so nice to talk to you.
Likewise. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Go to theleadershiftproject.com to sign up for the Scoop newsletter and explore all the resources from this podcast in the show notes. And follow me on Instagram at The Leader Shift Project and LinkedIn under my name, Shani Magoski, for inspiration and content about all things leadership. Make it a great day.